Good morning. This is Frank back again, 37 weeks after the fire, with Alicia from United Cleaning and Restoration, who's responsible for bringing this whole house along and making it look new again. Anticipating moving back in a couple of months, but we still have a way to go, but we made a lot of progress in the past 37 weeks.
Sure did. So my job, the day that I met Frank, unfortunately the day of the fire, I actually know one of his neighbors, which is how I had heard about the fire. And when I came, I found him standing outside in the street in absolute panic, not knowing what to do. So typically when we show up to a fire, our first job is to make sure that everybody's okay and let them know that we're here really just to be a resource for help if they need it. I think we talked a little bit and you were very shaken up, and I was trying to explain to you the most important thing was to, one, make sure he was safe, and two, make sure he had a place to stay that night. Once we got past that, obviously we wanted to secure his property to make sure no one could get in, belongings were safe, and make sure that everything was secure until we needed to move through the process. So I think initially it's more about calming him, educating him on what the next steps are, and then letting him know that we're really here just as a resource. I think that's pretty much all we did. Red
Yes.
Cross came to help you out.
I don't remember Red Cross ever getting here, but I heard
Yeah, they were
did you
here,
talk
but I
with
know
them?
you were, yeah,
Okay.
you were
I didn't know
it was
what
such an
going on.
awful day. I
Yeah.
do remember that being very stressful. And then, of course, we talked about next steps after we told you kind of what we're going to do when the fire was released from Sam, the fire marshal, what the next process was going to be. And it was to secure the house, get any valuables out, and make sure that you were staying where you wanted for that night. We had you a nice room in the beach hotel for a little while, and then we moved you to Guilford for a little while.
Right.
That was very stressful.
Yeah.
And then, we talked about putting a team together, a team of who's going to be your resources and support you through the process. And that's when we met Brendan from Dillman and Dillman, who you'll be talking to in a little while. And his job was to help us through the claims process. So,
And Dillman were the public adjusters
right.
that also came on board and were here the night of the fire to guide me through the process of dealing with USAA, the insurance company, to make things go smoothly and make sure I was able to recover everything I was entitled to.
Correct. And then we start the rebuild process as we go through. You do the emergency services, then we went into the mitigation, cleaning up, getting rid of the smoke smell, and then of course putting Frank's house back to where it was prior to the fire. A lot of selections,
A lot of choices.
a lot of
Yeah.
choices.
A lot of decisions to be made.
Yeah, the longest process is probably waiting for the claim to be settled, which is not our job. Our job is to really just put everything back to the way it was before the fire. Once the claim is settled, that's when we actually start our work.
Right. I remember the first few months, it was very frustrating since nothing seemed to be getting done.
Right.
My house still looked like it did the night of the fire, covered in soot, dirt, smoke, burned out rooms, insulation, ceilings falling in. And I remember I got quite frustrated because it didn't seem like anything was being done.
It's hard.
But the whole time behind the scenes, everyone was trying to get things in place so
Right.
that we could move forward and accomplish things in a timely manner.
So one of the hardest things is the waiting game.
Yes.
In the very beginning, everybody's all in and there's a lot of commotion going on. We're trying to secure the house, we're trying to develop your team. Adjusters are meeting out here. Luckily, you have a great insurance company. The adjuster was very well to work with. And then once we secure the scene, it's like hurry up and wait until the insurance adjusters and the estimates and all of that is prepared. That's the long process that
Right.
makes it difficult. Then we take all the contents out, we're cleaning it, we're storing it. Most of his items were not salvageable, so he had to buy more, which was obviously another long process. So, at that point, it's your team working together. So obviously Frank being our captain, Dillman and Dillman was working directly with Frank and the insurance adjuster from USAA. And then they kind of come to us for, okay, we're ready to put everything back together. And then we clean, store, seal, replace, and rebuild.
and bring things back. That's our next step, is to get things back into the house that I was able to save. It's, like I say, it's been a very ongoing, time-consuming process. You probably hear people in the background pounding. They're here today, even as we speak now. They're still rebuilding the bathroom, which is the area that the fire had started in. Hopefully that will be done soon.
Yeah, it's a long process and can be very frustrating, but you know, if everybody keeps the communication going, I think we go up and down, right, Frank?
Yes.
One day's a good day and the next
days,
day's not
Bad
good.
days. As the
It's
time goes
it's
by,
hard. It's so
you
hard.
start having more good days than bad
That's
days.
right.
At the beginning, it was a lot of bad days and very few good days. You couldn't
Right.
see the forest through the trees. But as time went by and things started getting cleaned up and the home started to, be resurrected again, you could see that there would be an end in sight.
But for us, the most important thing is to make Frank understand that we do care. You know, we really, at United, we look to our clients to be our extended family. You know, we realize what they're going through, and we want them to feel that. You know, our new name is actually United Property Restoration Services, formerly United Cleaning. And we've been in business for 24 years. We understand what you're going through, but we have to be honest, every fire is different. Yes, the rebuilding part might be the same, but the process is always a little bit different, and we try to work as closely as we can with our homeowners. A lot of our clients become our friends and family for years to come. So at the end of the tunnel, you see the light, you gain the relationship, and there's nothing better than being able to help somebody go through a process like this.
And it was in that vein that I asked Lucia here today to meet with Michelle from Community Cares, because I know that's pretty much the same mission of Community Cares, is to help people remain in their home and help them with their mobility issues or cleaning their yards or doing whatever else they can do, so people don't have to go into an assisted living or go into a facility because they can't take care of what they have. And your Community Cares, as I said, also cares. It's a family of people, a family of volunteers that come out free of charge and help people go on with their lives and remain in their homes. Again, the two goals to me align from different ends of the spectrum, but they all seem to align and work together.
And how we typically connect with people such as Frank is all of the restoration companies do get what's called a text message alert, because the fire marshal cannot leave the scene until it's secure. So typically we do have relationships with different fire marshals, insurance agents, insurance adjusters, property managers, commercial building owners. And we do actually do some things with the chamber here in Madison. So there's lots of targets that we use to reach and connect with those types of people. How I found Frank the night was that I did get a text message that there was a fire in Madison with the address, and I actually live local as well, so connected it right away that I knew quite a few of his neighbors and knew that I needed to come out and make sure that everybody was okay.
One of the first things she asked me when she said, "Do you have any clothes? What do you need? I'll go to the store and get them for you." That was at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yes.
Yeah. So at United, we are a company that covers the entire state of Connecticut, most parts of New England. We go into Massachusetts, some of Westchester County, New York. We've actually just opened a facility in Tennessee. We're almost in Florida, and we'll go to Rhode Island as well.
And this is not something I could have gone through on my own. Wouldn't know where to start. There were just too many unanswered questions and too many avenues and places to go. I think one of the initial things that really bothered me is, and everyone should keep an inventory of what they have in their house. We've been in this house for 4 generations. There are many valuables and antiques here, but I had no idea what I had. And one of the biggest benefits of having someone like United Cleaning and Restoration was that they were able to set up a team to come in and inventory the house. So that burden was taken away from me when I was in no condition to do that at the time.
The other nice thing that you bring that up, And just not to confuse the name, we're United Property Restoration now. We used to be United Cleaning and Restoration for like 24 years. So he keeps referring, because he's known us that long.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been a while, right? I know you had our old name before, but I didn't want our viewers to be confused.
Okay.
It's the same company, we just rebranded the name.
What's the name now?
United Property Restoration.
Oh.
Same
Oh,
difference.
okay,
I just
look
didn't
at
want our
all your
viewers to be
letterheads.
confused.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But one of the things that you brought up was a good point, if you remember the Matterport that we did for you. So
Yes.
the day after the fire, we were in here with our Matterport camera, which is a full view from top to bottom. It's a, what do you call it?
It's a video, right?
Yeah, it's a video. It's
of
like
every
a
room.
360 video. Thank you. Yes, it's a 360 video of the condition of the loss. Gives you the date and time stamp. It's very good for your purposes. It helped us go through each room to see what was in each room. So as we're walking through, and Dillman I know used it for your inventory, we're able to share it with the insurance adjusters, helps everybody get their estimating process done. And the nice thing is we didn't have to come into a smoke-filled burnt house every time we needed to get back in. So we're able to come in with our camera, we do the 360 view, it measures everything in the room, walls, ceilings, everything on the ceilings, and then we're able to send that link to all the parties involved. So even nicer, you're gonna have a before and after, because we'll also do the Matterport when we're done with the house. So he'll always have that before what happened and after. And it's we call it like a Zillow, so when you look at it, you'll be able to see.
How long have you been using that? Is this something relatively new?
A few years, actually, yeah. It's probably in the last, I would say 4 or 5 years we've been using it, and we do it for every loss that we do. It's really a valuable tool in everything that we do.
What did you do before? Just take pictures?
Cameras, yeah, picture after picture and filing them.
Okay, I'm here now with Brendan Collins. He's the public adjuster involved in the efforts of restoring my home. I met Brendan at the fire. He was actually one of the firefighters here, putting out the fire, trying to save what was left of my house. After he came down in all his gear, he told me that he would be back after he changed, and he had to talk to me about possibly helping me out to get my insurance recovery from my insurance company. So he did come back after that, and I got to know Brendan, and he kind of set the stage initially for dealing with USAA, the adjuster at USAA, and kind of held my hand and took me through the steps to get the claim in so I could start the restoration process of the house.
Yeah, so I'm a firefighter here in North Madison. We were called down to assist Madison Hose with the fire, and I met Frank, and like he said, introduced myself as a public adjuster. And when we first started talking, we talked about the difficulties and some of the hurdles that come along with having a fire. You know, 99.9% of our clients, this is their first time going through it. Most people don't go through this very often, if but once in their life. So because we do this every day, we know all the steps that need to be taken in order to get through the process of calling the loss in, what needs to be done to mitigate the loss, bringing in and talking to Alicia and companies like United Mitigation Companies. And then handling the loss from the insurance side. So we're truly a fiduciary for the insured. We act on behalf of the insured. We don't represent any insurance company. Just as if somebody were bringing an attorney to a negotiation, you would likely bring your attorney to the negotiation. The insurance companies are bringing an adjuster. So we give you the opportunity to bring an adjuster on your behalf as well. And really get down to the minutia, and like Frank mentioned, really recover everything that you're entitled to through your insurance policy. Make sure that all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and that we have everything we need in order to secure the funds to help put the house back together, so that you can truly be indemnified at the end of the day, brought back to where you were prior to the fire. And we did that.
We did that. We're still in the process.
We're still in the
of doing that.
process.
There's still many items that are out there that we put in claims for.
We stand by the client from the moment the smoke clears right through the very end, as the claim stays open. Even once you're back in the house, there's typically a couple of items that are still outstanding that we'll continue to fight for. We are licensed insurance adjusters, so we have the ability to negotiate with the insurance company on the insured's behalf, unlike construction companies, mitigation companies, who are the folks that actually get the work physically done. We handle everything on the financial side and can negotiate with the insurance companies.
I think I've benefited greatly in the fact that I'm much closer to getting back in my home now than I would have been if I didn't have their help. I'd probably still be sitting out in the yard looking at my house burned down, wondering where I start to clean it up, or how I can, where I'm going to stay that night. I'd probably be sleeping on the beach or somewhere instead of, in a rental that they arranged for me through the USAA. But no, I think my main focus from the day of the fire was to get back into the house, not necessarily to get a new house out of it, which is what I've gotten, but to get back into my home as soon as possible. And I think Brendan or someone who told me initially it could take up to 2 years to get back in your home, and here we are at 37 weeks, and I'm getting pretty close to being able to get back into the house.
Truly, we work very hard on behalf of our clients to make sure that they get the funds in order to get back into their home. And most people don't even know that our position exists, that this is even a job out there in the world. I know I didn't. I had a fire 3 years ago and ended up hiring the man that I work for now, Steve Dillman, who did an excellent job for me, and also worked with Leisha and United, who put my house back together. So it truly has been a team approach and a family approach. And I think I mentioned to Frank, you're part of a club now.
Yeah.
It's a very unfortunate club, but it is a part of a family of folks that have had to go and endure this. It's not easy. There are good days, there are bad days, as we mentioned. There are ups and there are downs. But at the end of the day, getting back in, and I know my heart is full walking in Frank's door. I haven't been here physically in a couple of months, and to see it put back together from when I was here last, it's truly amazing. I'm so happy for you that it's turned out so well. And Frank and I have spent many hours together.
Yes.
Spent many hours together on the phone and talking at all hours, day and night. So it's really nice to see the project come to near completion here.
It's like many other events in life, especially these days in this climate we're in, that you never really know what you have to go through until you've been through it. And unless you've been through it, you can't really appreciate what's involved in getting back and making it through it. It's indeed a horrific process to go through. I certainly wouldn't want to wish it on anybody. But if you have to do it, it's always good to have teams like Brandon and Lucia to help you through all the bad times. Well, here I am sitting in my living room in the brand new recliner that was just delivered. Everybody came the same time this morning. Pilgrim Furniture City brought some of the replacement furniture. When your community cares and Dillman and United Restoration Services came, it's almost impossible to believe that I can sit here now after the way the house looked 27 or 37 weeks ago. As for the future, I would hope to be able to get my life back in order again, get back into a normal routine, not having to go back and forth between here and the rental property. I'm over here every day, opening and closing the gate, checking the progress on the resurrection of the house. But I can get back to a calmer life again, get back to the life at the beach where I do a lot of swimming, a lot of walking over here, and just enjoying life again, and not worrying about having a place to stay or a place to live. So hopefully the future looks optimistic, and we can get back to normal.